الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا يا رب العالمين. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praise Him Azza wa Jal for His blessings. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us His help and His pleasure in this world and life and hereafter. Allahumma ameen ya rabbal alameen. Inshallah ta'ala, I will continue with the explanation of the book of Sheikh Yusuf or الوابل أشراط الساعة Yusuf الوابل. That's we started, alhamdulillah, the science of the hour of the Shaykh Yusuf al-Wabil, hafidhahullah ta'ala, and we reached at the point talking about the fitan and the trials, and we spoke about the first of the fitan and the trials that started in this ummah, and that were after the death, or with the death of Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu ta'ala, Khalifat al-Muslimin radiallahu anhu, and then the fitna that happened between the Sahaba, موقعة الصفين or موقعة الجمل, the camel, because it was called the camel of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala. And we stopped there, and then we spoke about the fitna of the Khawarij. The Khawarij, that they started since that time, and after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they're going to continue until the day of the judgment, or the day of the judgment, as the last hadith that we mentioned. Anytime any of these people they come, كلما خرج قرن قطع, one part of them then is going to be cut off, but then another one, they're going to come from this group, and then it's still going to be cut off until it will come, the Dajjal will emerge and come out. And the Prophet also mentioned it 20 times, which is a part of them comes out, then they is cut off, meaning they disappear, and another group comes out from the Khawarij until the Dajjal. The other fitna that happened, it was the one called Mawqa'atul Harra. Mawqa'atul Harra, or the Battle of Al-Harrah. This is one of the fitan and trials that came in the time of Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala. It's called the Battle of Harrah because Al-Harrah, it is, as we know, the Medina, they have the lava plain. It has the two lava plain. So that's Al-Harrah al-Sharqiyya, the east lava plain, and one of the two plains of Medina, and Medina, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it happened a battle between the people of Medina and the army of Yazid ibn Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala an Muawiyah and Sahaba ajma'in in the year 63. Yazid ibn Muawiyah in that time, he was the Khalifa. So the people of Medina, they took their hand of the bay'ah, they didn't give the pledge of him, said that you are not our Khalifa anymore. So this is what happened. And then Yazid, because of that, he sent an army against them with the commander Muslim ibn Aqabata al-Murri, and he, from that in that time, he made halal for him, permissible, everything to be destroyed, subhanallah, in Medina. And there were in that time 700 from the Sahaba, Muhajirin and Ansar, were killed in that battle, subhanAllah. 700 from the Sahaba, and from others, 10,000. From others were 10,000. That's why it was called, Salaf al-Salih, they called him al-Muslim, the one who exaggerated, that he exceeded the limits. And Allah Azza wa Jalla took him on his way from Mecca going to Medina. So this is what happened between the army of Yazid ibn Muawiyah and the people in Medina. Subhanallah, a lot of Sahaba were killed. Sa'id ibn Musayyib radiallahu anhu wa rahimahullah says, ثارت الفتنة الأولى فلم يبقى ممن شهد بدرا أحد ثم كانت الثانية فلم يبقى ممن شهد الحديبية أحد. The first fitna happened and did not stay after that or remain after that whoever was from the Battle of Badr? Nobody. Meaning that all the people who were witnessing the Battle of Badr, they passed away. They were killed. The second fitna happened, second trial and second battle between the fitna of the Sahaba, and nobody who was present in the Hudaybiyah, truce of Hudaybiyah, 1500. Nobody, none of them remained alive. All of them, they were killed. رضي الله تعالى. وقال, he said, وأظن لو كانت الثالثة لم ترتفع وفي الناس الطباخ. Said, and I think that if it happened for the third time, after the second, it will not come out, it will not finish, it will not end until there is no benefit in the people. Tabbah, in case, yeah, there is no benefit, there is no aql, there is no mind, senses left in the people. So, subhanAllah, that's what he said. The first fitna was, he said, the first fitna was the killing of Uthman, and the second, as Imam Baghawi rahmatullah, he explains what he said, the second was considered this one, Al-Harrah, the Battle of Al-Harrah. The other fitna that happened in our ummah, I mentioned some of the trials that happened. It is the great, big fitna that happened because of the word of that the Quran is created. I mentioned some of this before, but a different topic. Fitnatul qawli bil anna al-Quran makhluq. The fitna and the trial that was said that the Quran, Mu'tazila and others, and Tamil Ma'mun, that the Quran is created, the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It happened in the time of Al-Abbasiyin, the Abbasid Caliphate, that they said that the Quran is makhluk. And what we mean by Quran, we mean the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we explained before, it's not talking about the Mus'haf. Mus'haf in itself, as a Mus'haf, is different. But the Quran, which is a sifat, an attribute of Allah that He speaks, among His speech is the Quran. He has other words, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He speaks whenever He wills, to whomever He wills, in the way that He wills, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that doesn't have an end and doesn't have a beginning, as Allah doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have an end, subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it is the attribute of Allah. Whenever Allah exists and He exists forever, His word exists and of whom subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not makhluk, it's not created. So it started in the time of the Khalifa al-Abbas al-Ma'mun, and whoever followed and supported him in that time. And then Jahmiyyah wal Mu'tazila, from different sects of Islam, they had this opinion and they disseminated and they spread this word in the Muslim world. And a lot of scholars, as we mentioned before, they were put into trial because of this word, either to say that the Quran is makhluk, or to be dead, or to be sent in prison, or to be beaten up and tortured, as happened to Imam Ahmad rahimahullah ta'ala wa radiyallahu anhu. So a great bala and a very dangerous fitna that happened. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allah Azza wa Jal subhanahu wa ta'ala, He took it away and brought relief to the Muslim ummah after that, because of the thabat and the steadfastness of the scholars like Imam Ahmad rahmatullahi and other scholars who stood fast in front of these people and this deviation. Otherwise, the whole ummah might have been following that qawl. Subhanallah, they were waiting. Imagine now the people he's being tortured, and Imam Ahmad rahmatullahi, and was asked, is the Quran makhluk or not? And he stood to the truth, and that's why he's called Imam Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Now, in those days, there was no media, but media was a different way. So imagine people are waiting there and are waiting what he was going to say. If this Imam would say, yes, it's makhluk, khalas. Yani everybody after that said that, and that the Sunnah would be dead for that period. But for sure, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has made for this ummah and for the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people, men, scholars, they would stand for that Sunnah to defend that even with their own lives. Rahimahullah ta'ala wa radiyallahu anhu. And a lot of fitan and trials happened until the Muslims were disseminated, and Muslims were divided in many groups. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned many hadith sahih, authentic from him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that this ummah will be divided as the people before us were divided. حديث أبو هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم افترقت اليهود على 71 فرقة وتفرقت النصارى على 71 فرقة وتفترق أمتي على 73 فرقة. رواه أصحاب السنن والنسائي. حديث صحيح that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said, the Yahud, the Jew, they were divided into 71 or 72 sects and groups, and the Christians were divided into 71 or 72 groups. And my ummah, us, Prophet ﷺ talking about our ummah, it will be divided into 30 or 73, into 73, not 71 or 72, one more, 73 divisions or groups or sects. That's hadith sahih of the Prophet ﷺ. أبي عامر عبد الله بن لحي رضي الله عنه قال حججنا مع معاوية ابن أبي سفيان. We made Hajj, we performed Hajj with Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan رضي الله تعالى. فلما قدمنا مكة, when we came to Mecca, قام حين صلى صلاة الظهر فقال, he stood up after he prayed صلاة الظهر and he said, إن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إن أهل الكتابين افترقوا في دينهم على 72 ملة وإن هذه الأمة ستفترق على 73 ملة، يعني الأهواء كلها في النار إلا واحدة وهي الجماعة وإنه سيخرج في أمتي أقوام. الله أكبر. This hadith is really very beautiful, describing subhanAllah exactly what's going to happen to our ummah, and scary at the same time. يخرج من أمتي أقوام تجارى بهم تلك الأهواء كما يتجارى الكلب بصاحبه لا يبقى منه عرق ولا مفصل إلا دخل. And he said, والله يا معشر العرب لئن لم تقوموا بما جاء به نبيكم صلى الله عليه وسلم لغيركم من الناس أحرى أن لا يقوم به. He said, رضي الله عنه, when he gave this khutbah and this speech, he said, indeed, the people of the two previous books, which is the Jews and the Christians, they were divided in their religion into 72 sects or groups. And this ummah, it will be divided into 73 sects or groups, following their desires, chasing their desires. All of them will be in the hellfire except one. All of them will be in the hellfire except one. Doesn't mean that they're going to stay in the hellfire forever. They will be in hellfire except one. And that one, وَهِيَ الْجَمَاعَةِ, is the Jama'ah, the one who is following the Jama'ah and the group of the Muslims. وَإِنَّهُ سَيَخْرُجُ فِي أُمَّتِي. Listen to this. And indeed, in my ummah, in my nation, it will come some people. تَجَارَ بِهِمْ تِلْكَ الْأَهْوَى كَمَا يَتَجَارَ الْكَلَبُ أو الْكَلْبُ بِصَاحِبِهِ. There will come in my ummah, in my nation, some people that desires and whims, they will penetrate them as the rabies, the disease of rabies for the dog. When the dog has rabies, if he bites another dog, for example, that type of disease, subhanAllah, is very contagious. It spreads in the whole body, and the dog, or even the person who is bitten by the dog, becomes like majnoon, mad. And sometimes, and that's usually, it leads to death. For the dog, usually the dog, when he has rabies, is left without drinking the water, and he dies out of thirst. Even the man, it's very hard. That might lead to death. Why? Look at the description of the Prophet ﷺ gives, that the desires of these people, that they follow, they chase their own desire. They don't follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. It will penetrate their bodies, it will penetrate their minds, in this case, of these people, their minds, as this disease, which is rabies, it will penetrate the body of the person who has been bitten by that dog. لا يبقى منه عرق ولا مفصل إلا دخل. It will not, and nothing is going to remain, neither a joint or a vein, except that disease, it will penetrate. It was enough for the Prophet to mention only the first one, which is these desires will be and with that person, he will follow he will chase his desires, as that disease will penetrate the body of the person. We know rabies is very contagious and penetrates in the whole body. Prophet goes further and he explains that any vein or any joint, it will be that disease will penetrate it just by that bite. Subhanallah. And this Sheikh Abdul Razak Al-Badr, in the explanation of this hadith, he says, Subhanallah, that means that this person, every movement that he does, it follows and chases his desires. He doesn't move his hand except by following his desire. No sunnah, nothing. Whatever his mind tells him to do, it follows the bid'ah, no innovation. These bid'ahs and innovation that penetrate the mindset of that person makes this person like mad. That's what happened as Imam Shafi'i, that the person who is an innovator, sahib bid'ah, actually it becomes really like a mad person. Mad, I mean not upset, but mad like majnoon, crazy. Like a person innovates something in the religion and follows and chases his desires and doesn't follow the sunnah of the Prophet, becomes like that person who has the disease of rabies. As the Prophet mentioned, may Allah protect us and save us from any disease, physical disease and spiritual disease, and from any innovation. Allahumma ameen ya rabbil alameen. And then he continues and says, Wallahi ya ma'ashar al-Arab. This is the word of Muawiyah. Till here was the word of Prophet that it will enter that type of disease or the innovations. Said, all Arabs, if you are not to take care of this amana and trust, to take the words of your Prophet, other people other than you, they are more deserving to take care. They are more deserving to take care of this. So if you leave it, don't worry. Allah Azza wa Jal will make other people, maybe not Arabs, that will take care of this amana that you have and you left it. In the same topic, another fitan that happened, and it is happening and is going to happen until the day of judgment, is ittiba'u sunan al-ummah al-madiyah, following the path of the previous nations. Following the path of the previous nations. And this is one of the fitan that has happened and is happening even nowadays in this day and age, following the path of the Jews and Christians and following their habits, especially in religion, traditions, and everything. A lot of Muslims, they follow that. They emulate that. They emulate them, and even in their moral and characters and their manners, subhanAllah, because they are amazed by their characters. Oh, they are better than us in this. And subhanAllah, they follow, and that's what the Prophet said in a very well-known hadith Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال لا تقوم الساعة حتى تأخذ أمتي بأخذ القرون قبلها شبرا بشبر وذراعا بذراع. فقيل يا رسول الله كفارس والروم؟ فقال ومن الناس إلا أولئك. رواه البخاري. Hadith Sahih Bukhari, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the Sa'ah, the day of the judgment, the hour will not come, will not be established until my ummah, it will take the traditions, it will follow the previous nations before. Shibran bi shibr, handspan by handspan, dhira'an bi dhira', cubit by cubit. And they said, Ya Rasulullah, Messenger of Allah, like Persians and the Romans, and it will follow those people before. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, وَمَنِ النَّاسُ إِلَّا أُولَٰئِكَ. And who are other people other than them? Who are those people other than them? So people before us, as in this hadith. And another narration on Abu Sa'id, they said, we said, Ya Rasulullah, and Yahud and Nasara, are they the Jewish and the Christian? And the Prophet ﷺ answered the same question by saying, Amen. Who else? And the previous nation. Who else? That hadith is narrated in Bukhari and Muslim. And Imam al-Battal, he says, اعلم أن أمته ستتبع المحدثات من الأمور والبدع والأهواء. Know that his ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, it will follow and chase the innovations from the innovations and the desires of the people before. كما وقع للأمم قبلهم, as it happened to the people before the Islam. وقد أنذر في أحاديث كثيرة بأن الآخرة شر. That the Prophet ﷺ, he has warned in many hadith that what is to come, it is shar, it is more evil and worse. وَالسَّاعَةُ لَا تَقُومُ إِلَّا عَلَى شِرَارِ النَّاسِ. And the Sa'ah, the day of the judgment and the hour, will not be established and will not happen except upon the worst of the people, the most evil of the people. وَأَنَّ الدِّينَ إِنَّمَا يَبْقَى قَائِمًا عِنْدَ خَاصَّةٍ مِنَ النَّاسِ. And deen, religion, will be established and will be applied except from some special people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor them with their deen. والإمام ابن حجر, he said, وقد وقع معظم ما أمر به صلى الله عليه وسلم وسيقع بقية ذلك. Ibn Hajar, the one who, the scholar, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, the one who explained the Sahih al-Bukhari, as we know. So he said, most of it has happened, what the Prophet is telling us, and the rest of it is going to happen. The rest of it is going to happen, and we're seeing with our own eyes what is happening. How many of innovations have been spread nowadays? Innovations in deen and other things that people say, oh, there's no problem. That are resembling the disbelievers in their way, how they sit, in the way how they talk, in the way how they deal with others. There is no problem if you want to follow and follow your deen in the first place. But if you want to follow in the technology and you invent something, there's no problem with that. Be the first in that field. Something which will benefit you and will benefit the whole ummah. But following them in their religion, in the deen, following them in the akhlaq, and the manners, if it is not coming from a Muslim, where is it going to come from? Islam taught us the best of akhlaq. And if they took it from us. They put different names, but it is because it is from the Islam. So why they're saying that, oh, they are better and they are like that? Some people actually, a lot of Muslims, the Sheikh says that, subhanAllah, in this time and day and age, a lot of Muslims, they resemble the disbelievers. They are following them from the east or the west, doesn't matter. They follow them, and men are resembling men of them. Women are resembling their women, and they have been put onto a trial, and some of them, they have come out of the fold of Islam by following them. Some of them, it says, they have come out of the fold of Islam because they believe. This has been for years. When the Sheikh wrote this book, it's been like 34 years. But since that time, that some of them, they believe that you can't progress as a country until you have to take this progress of the Westerners and the Western countries and all that. They progressed in their technology and everything because they don't have the deen in their life. So let us leave the deen, astaghfirullah, on the side, and then we do this. What happened with a lot of Muslims in Muslim countries? This what they did. So they leave the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And as we know, subhanAllah, the first word to be revealed in the Quran is read. Iqra. Read. The name of your Lord who created everything. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Read. That means study. Study. First of all, the religion. And don't invent bid'ah and innovation. But anything which is beneficial to you and to the whole ummah, read, man. Read. Study. Don't just say be negligent. You be the first in every. And how did the Westerners take and they kept and maybe they progressed and they developed a little bit more all the sciences and everything? From where? From the Muslims. That's what they say. Al-Qurun al-Usta, yani medieval ages and the dark ages. There were never dark ages for the Muslims. These were golden ages, 1,000 years. All of those scientific technologies and inventions that are nowadays, they have. You go back, you will trace back to the Muslim scholars that they brought us in every field. And they even the books, and you see in Spain and in Germany and all of when they went in Iraq, they took the books and everything. They took the books of the science, they kept it for themselves. The rest of the books they burned it. Why? Because they translated from their books. They took the knowledge. Even in Spain, after the 800 years in Andalusia, Andalus, they had that knowledge. Why? Because they were scholars of deen and scholars in other fields. And they had everything, subhanAllah, in there before everyone. If you go and study every field of science or anything that is related to science and progress, you'll trace it back. There is a Muslim who has done that for 100 years before that, hundreds of years before that, in every field, economics, even economics, psychology, or psychiatry, every field. You will trace back. That's the father of sociology or psychology and all of this, Ibn Khaldun. He has written a book, only the introduction reached to us. And only the introduction, muqaddimah. That's only one mujallad, one volume, the introduction. And through that, you can understand that this man has even so very good concept. Few pages. You understand that he is the father of economics, not Adam Smith and what they say nowadays. I study economics. He is the father of economics because he understands, and he brings it there. Obviously, there is an explanation, but he brings it in a very simple language. It's one volume. You have all of this knowledge in there, subhanAllah, and all the different fields. For the eyesight, for the cameras, and all the different inventions that have been invented, it is from Islam. So read that. Now people we follow them because they are better than us, and here and there. SubhanAllah, this is what happened, and the people they left even their deen. May Allah protect us. And this if it tells something, it tells that the people they don't know their Islam. They are far away from they were supposed to be in learning their deen and their religion. If you go there, the Christianity, they used to burn people alive, because they follow the knowledge. They used to burn, but Islam and religion, religion and knowledge, they go side by side in Islam. We honor people because they are knowledgeable in any field which is beneficial. We don't burn alive people because they are knowledgeable. This is what used to happen in Dark Ages. That's why, because of Christianity. They called them heretics. And they didn't believe in Christianity. That's what they called them because of that. But Islam is not anything like that. Actually, we are encouraged to learn and study in every field which brings benefit to the ummah and to the whole humanity. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he described that, really, subhanAllah, how amazing he described in the hadith that you will follow the people before as like shibr by shibr, handspan by handspan, and cubit by cubit, even if they enter in the hole of a sand lizard, you will follow them. Imagine that description. Who is going to enter? Humankind cannot enter in that hole of lizard. But to that description, that really, in everything they do, you will follow them. And that's what's happened. And that's what's happening. And this is they call it thaqafatul mahzoom, the culture of the one who is defeated. You are defeating yourself. Why? You have your own identity. Ya Muslim, Ya Abdullah. You have everything. Wallahi. Why you should be defeated? That's a problem, because Muslims, they have been always under the oppression and under they are being suppressed by other colonialism and that mindset, and you are defeated. So everybody who is on top of me, especially those countries who had all of this, why they have all of this? Why they have all of money? Because they took it from you. They stole it from the Muslim countries. So this is what happened. So that's so that you are defeated. Muslim is not defeated from inside. As long as you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doesn't matter who stands in front of you. But you have to be true to teaching of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, teaching of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. and the Sunnah, by following the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Imam Nawawi rahmatullah, he says, والمراد بالشبر والذراع وجحر الضب التمثيل بشدة الموافقة لهم. The description of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he said, that's you're going to follow hand by hand span by hand span, cubit by cubit, and the hole of a lizard, like entering it. It's like really to the severity and how in details you're going to follow them. Our other ummahs and other nations. And a muwafaqa, like you're going to follow where? In the sins, in everything that will be against the Islam, but not kufr. Not in the kufr, because that means that whoever follows them, in this case, they will be disbeliever. No, you're going to follow them, but not to reach them. Some people might reach that, but that was not meant for kufr. And this is a mu'jiza, a miracle of the Prophet ﷺ, that because that happened in that and after, in the time before, and it's happening nowadays. And this is many or the fitna or fitan that happened and going to happen after. We stop here, inshallah ta'ala. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal and yaqiyana al-fitan ma dhahra minha wa ma batan. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us and save us from the fitan, trials and tribulations, whatever has appeared and whatever is hidden. Allahumma ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. La ilaha illa anta subhanak inna kunna min al-zalimin. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك ويا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا وطاعتك. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم انصر الاسلام والمسلمين واذل الشرك والمشركين. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث اصلح لنا شاننا كله ولا تكلنا الى انفسنا طرفه عين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك ونتوب اليك. صلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين.